Hey everyone, it's Caleb. I'm going to go and head towards a highway to teach you a little bit about driving on highways and high-speed areas. At this point, you should be comfortable driving in low-speed areas or residential areas before moving to high-speed areas or 45 mile per hour, 60 mile per hour, places where traffic moves much quicker. I'm going to head towards a highway now. And to do that, we'll just keep going forward and go towards this stoplight. Always make sure there's enough distance between you and the car ahead of you. This is a turning lane, so I'm going to yield to any oncoming traffic. It looks like they're stopping and I have the right of way, so I'm going to go ahead. Here the speed limit is 40 miles per hour, so I'm going to speed up to 40, maybe 42 miles per hour. I have a green light, so that means I can keep going. I have to watch out for cars next to you, or just keep awareness of any cars in your area. It's really important that you look at your rear view mirrors and side mirrors quite often, maybe once every 5 to 10 seconds, to make sure you're safe and there's no cars having dangerous behavior. If there's a vehicle around you that's exhibiting dangerous behavior, let them pass or try to stay away from them so that you reduce your risk of an accident. Here we have a red light, so we're just going to sit and wait for it to turn green. You may see that I turned on my headlights. It's a little foggy out today, or it's a little cloudy, so I'm going to keep my headlights on just to be safe. Also, a lot of people recommend when you're driving on highways to just leave your headlights on by default so that other cars can see you more easily. Now we're approaching the way to turn onto the highway. I'm going to turn on my left blinker to indicate that I'm going to turn onto 169 South. I noticed that there's 2 lanes to turn onto the highway, so I'm going to have to be careful of the lane to the right to make sure I don't get in that vehicle's way and that we don't get in each other's way, basically. So I'm going to turn left, staying in my lane, and look to the right and see that there's no cars to the right of me, signaling that I'm going to turn over, and I'm going to keep driving onto the highway. Now, when you're driving on this ramp, speed up and try to approach the highway at the speed of the highway. So here it's 60 miles an hour, so speed limit. So I'm going to try to go 60 miles an hour. Turning my left signal on, I'm going to merge into the left lane since no one's there. Now I'm slowly speeding up. Oh, speed limit is 55 miles an hour. So I'm going to slow down a little bit so I'm at least below 60 miles an hour. Anything above 60 miles an hour may put you at risk for a ticket. Even if other drivers drive way above the speed limit, don't let that tempt you to speed. It's not worth paying that much money just to get there a couple minutes faster. Now on the highway, it's pretty easy, especially if there's not a lot of traffic. When you're starting out, just stay in the right lane, go the speed limit, and watch for traffic around you and in front of you. Always be sure to have about 2 to 3 seconds of separation between you and the car ahead of you. Now when you're on the highway, you'll see lots of directions and signs, and you may not see the directions that you want to see in case you get lost, but it's good to learn what the road names are in your area. That way that'll help you know when to turn off and when to merge or when to separate. Basically the road can separate or whatever. Wow, I'm just gonna skip this part. going to turn my signal on and turn on to West 62. During this part, I'm going to start speeding up back to the highway speed. Now I look at the sign and it says I have 1/4 mile to Shady Oak Road, Highway County 61. So I'm going to merge off the highway, or I'm going to get off the highway at this exit, because I need to get on Shady Oak Road. I'm turning on my blinker to let them know that I'm exiting the lane. Now I'm going to turn my blinker again and move into the farthest right lane so that I can turn right at the stoplight. So now, once you have a good route that you can drive around on the highway, and you know where you're going, develop that route and practice. Get comfortable driving on the highway at higher speeds, and have someone in the car to help you if you're not comfortable right away. This will help you go out to farther areas and drive around big cities in the future.